Are you getting stuck between wave 7 and 10? Are you getting frustrated and just rage quitting every day? Well, I'm going to give you 5 tips that will get you closer to wave 20 every day consistently. Tip 1 is going to be using your mastery points efficiently. So when you first jump in, you'll have about 125 points there to be used, with lots of alluvials down here worth not much, and then some big boys up here that use up the entire amount. As nice as it feels to go and put one of these tier 3 straight out there right off the bat, it's probably not the best way to do it. If you put Scoriox here, he'll probably lose. So you get a lot more utility and a lot more effectiveness if you use these 55s and less and use a couple of them. So instead of putting that big one tier 3 out, I'd probably put these 2 out here. Now you got 2 on 1 straight off the bat. You'll kill him and then you move across to here. Alright, tip number 2 is to learn these 5 classes. All these other ones you can come to later. Learn these 5 classes like the back of your hand, and trust me, it will help you in the future. So as I get into a game, I look at my opposition and I look Slayer. Don't know what that is because that's a composite. I don't remember those yet anyway. But I see it's a rogue and a fighter. Pick that out. I know that a rogue jumps to the back of my board and a fighter is an up close attacker. So to counteract that, I need to put a defensive unit at the back, which I know, bulwark, defensive units. So I put a bulwark at the back, and this guy's Harbinger, but I have a look, he's also a bulwark. You put them there, so when he jumps to the back, you have a defensive unit to stop him from attacking the rest of your team. Off the back of learning these classes, you'll learn how to build and make up your team. Your team can't all be attack. It's never going to work. We need to have defensive units, we need to have healers, and then we can focus on attack. Attack is probably the least important at first. You need to build a big defensive wall before you can then attack the enemy team, and we start that off in low waves and build it up as we get higher into the game. So we'll do a quick run through of the 5 main classes. Empath, they're basically your healers. You got Scion, they're your glass cannons that sit at the back and just attack from a long distance away. Bulwark, they're your big tanks, high defense, high HP. Fighters, they're your melee attackers, get up close and personal. And then rogues are your ones that jump to the back and attack from behind. Learning these 5 classes is a big reason why people can go further and further into the game, and that's why it's my tip 2. Alright, tip number 3 is affinities. This is obviously working on what we've just gone through before with classes, just taking that next step further. So as you can see on the infographic over here, it's a standard setup. Outsides beat each other or are bad against each other, and then we cross over through the middle. It takes a little bit of learning, and then once you get down the line to composites, then it takes a lot more learning. But at first, just learn the 5, learn what beats what, and then even get that infographic and put it on your second screen somewhere, because once you're in game, it doesn't tell you anywhere what is positive or negative against each other. It's all up to you to remember. So having a look at this enemy board, we see that there's 3 nature. We hover over nature and we see all 3 light up. So we know what beats nature: fire. That is a direct positive matchup. So I build my team with fire. I have 3 fire. That includes the ranger with a fire sword. Do not forget to equip your ranger with weapons and armor. This is a huge bonus to your team. Getting that extra affinity or class may push you up into having the set of 3 and getting the bonus. So just recapping that, tip number 3, get that infographic on your second screen if you can, and learn those primary affinities as fast as possible. This will boost you even further. Alright, tip number 4 is positioning and counters. Obviously, now that we know our classes and our affinities, we know that we read the other team's board, we have a look at what they've put down, and then we work out what counters what they've put down. We build our team with defenses at the front or at the back, depending if they have rogues. We set up our attackers in spots that they're protected, and then, as you can see up here, we make them focus on who we want them to focus on, and then we focus on who we need to focus on. So we'll jump into this one. I've had to change it a little bit. There was an update as I've been making this video, and I don't have enough mastery points to put Singe in. So I've changed my character to Fire. She is still going to go and attack this guy at the back. So will Scoriox, and these three should all attack my Flare, and they are all bad matchups against Flare. Ramfire will jump to the back and take on Adorius from the back. I'm hoping that we can, the way I've set it up, we go down and we attack Adorius from the back, take them out before they do any healing. They may get one heal off, but the other two I don't see as a threat. So that's how I feel that this match should go. We'll give it a quick run through as we're here, and we'll talk about it. Hopefully it works as I want it to. Yep, as you can see, we've got my 3 fire alluvials gone straight to Adorius. He's going to get a heal off, which sucks, but Flare over here has done what it needs to do. Ramfire's up there, or Ramfight's up there, does what he needs to do, and then we focus on the last one. As you can see, I used my affinities, I used my classes, and then I used my positioning and counters to really maneuver their board into attacking who I wanted them to attack, and I went and attacked who I wanted to attack. As you can see, tip 4, positioning is one of the biggest parts of this game, and why an auto battler is such a unique way of battling. Alright, tip number 5, and the final tip, is recognizing who the threat is on the enemy board. As you can see here, we've got a defensive, a healer, and then a really heavy attacker. The really heavy attacker is probably the one that we need to take out the most. Sometimes it may be a healer, where you need to send 2 of your attackers or 2 of your rogues at that healer, maybe even 3, to knock the healer down before it continually gets the heals off on your team. As you can see, Julef is at the back here. He's an invoker, which is Scion, very heavy hitter. We send our rogues that will come behind him and start attacking him. We've got my bulwark just to take this guy. We've got my character set up as a bulwark as well, and then I've got my other Scion just to help take him down, and then should help attack Julef afterwards. So we'll let it play through. Hopefully it works as planned. But as you can see, the 2 go to the back and they start doing work to Julef. My player is dead, but Julef is dead as well. Their main attacker is gone. They have no more ways of defeating me at all. So now we just slowly take down their tanks and their healer, and bada bing, bada boom. Alright, so that's my big 5 tips for you to get from about wave 7 or 9 all the way up to high teens. I know this is only wave 9, but just keep adding and using these tips as you get higher and higher. Obviously they put more on the board, and you just got to work out where's the threat, defend the threat first, set up someone to manipulate the rest of their board to where you want, and then set up your attackers behind a defensive line. I know it's a lot to take in, but if you start with step 1 and work your way up to step 5, then you will have a very good knowledge of the game and should be able to push further and further. As you've seen during the recording of this video, there was an update to the Auto Battler. This has changed a few things in the game. They've added Hyper, the mastery points had dropped, and the weapons and armor started to give cost mastery points to be used. This changes things a little bit, but it still does not change these 5 tips in helping you get up through those waves. I'm going to do a video in a couple of days about the Hyper and go into a bit more depth on how that will affect the Auto Battler game as a whole. It really just puts more emphasis on how important affinities are. So as we worked on classes and affinities, they go hand in hand. So watch out for that video coming up soon. Hit that subscribe and that bell down the bottom so you get notified when it comes out. But anyway, if I have helped you at all during this video, leave the comment and like down below, and look out for new content coming out soon. Thank you.